making a couple dozen large bowls here, which is my standard salad bowl. The weight of clay is 5 pounds 4 ounces. And something I want to share with you which I can't do well or very easily when I'm on the road teaching workshops. Now, something that's often asked about here in the shop by visiting potters is what these things are used for that hang on my racking. And I'll show you what they're used for. My clay that I use is pug clay. So it comes in a 3-inch wide stick, or 3-inch diameter, and they're about 11 to 12 inches long. Now, to prepare clay, to make a batch of pots, I could use a scales, which takes a lot of time. Personally, I only have so much time to sit at a wheel, so I want the prep time to be as quickly done as possible. I mix clay from powders, or I buy box clay. Even when I'm buying box clay, sometimes you get a box of clay that's stiff, sometimes it's too soft. But if I unwrap all of it and pug it, I get a bin full of clay that's homogenized. And that matters to me. So when you're making pots, like sets of things that you want to be the same size, I do several things. I use the same weight of clay. I use the same hand motions to make each pot with the same tools, and all those motions are in the same order for each pot. But it starts with cutting the clay up or preparing it. So let me show you this. Now, visiting potters ask about these things, and I have about 8 of them. And let me explain what they are. It's a pretty simple idea. It's a wooden frame. It's not very fancy. I designate areas along the walls of the frame, put a tack in at each designated area or mark, and then I stretch wire between them. So these are pretty tight. Now, these frames are probably 30 years old in my shop, but I've used them extensively. This one is 14 ounces. I have one that's 12 ounces, 8 ounces, 1 pound, 1 pound 4 ounces. Any combination of those will make table scale pots or kitchen scale pots. This one's 1 pound 4 ounces. Okay, so rather than use a scale, add clay, take away clay, then knock that ball up. This is what I do. I'm going to make some pots here next. I'm going to make about 4 dozen 14-ounce mugs. So those ends get recycled. But these get stacked up. So now I've got at least 10 pieces of clay ready to go to the wheel. And that's all I do. Sure beats using the scale and saves an awful lot of time. Now, all I'm doing is taking the edges of this round disc off my weight of clay. I'm also doing this, which is rounding it and doming it, so when it hits the wheel head, I don't get any air trapped between the clay and the wheel head. And another little tip on this thing, if this is your piece of clay, I never put it down on the wheel head like that, because the clay has a twist in it from the pug mill. I always jam it, flatten it, and that goes to the wheel. So I'm always using the clay from round this direction on the wheel. So that's it. Just one of those little studio tips. Thanks for watching.